Hi everyone, my name is Adenike. In this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this palazzo pant showing on the screen. It has elastic waistband and drawstring, and it also has two side pocket. Let's begin. Here's the fabric I'm making use of. I have 2.5 yards of this African print here. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side, and it's folded into two, as you can see. Now, to know the amount of fabric putting on foot for this beautiful pants, I'm going to divide my hip into four, add 1 inch for his to it and extra 4 inches. And that is what I have on the table here, folded into two. This is the open edge, as you can see, and this is the folded edge. I'm using pin to hold my fabric down to avoid it from shaking. So I'm going to draw out my starting point, which is also my waistline. And since my palazzo pant is having elastic waistband, I'm using 1.5 inch for the length of my elastic band. If you like, you can make use of 2 inches. That's your preference. Now, I'm going to place that 1.5 inch on this waistline and measure out my hip line of 8 inches, which is here. And from the waistline as well, I'm going to measure out my crotch line. To get that, I'm going to divide my hip into 4. My hip is 40 inches. Divided by 4 will give me 10 inches. I'm going to add extra 1.5 inch to it to be high on the waist. But if you don't want it to be too high, you can add 1 inch to it. So 10 inches plus 1.5 inches, that is 11.5 inches, which is here. And I'll go ahead and extend the two lines. So this is my hip line and this is my crotch line. Always label your lines to avoid any silly mistakes, please. From my crotch line here, I'm going to come down by 2 inches for my tie line. If you like, you'll make it 2.5 inches. Now go ahead and extend it as well. On my waistline, I'm going to impute quarter of my hip plus 1 inch ease. My hip is 40 inches. If I divide it by 4, it will give me 10 inches plus 1 inch ease. That is 11 inches. And that is what I'm marking on my waistline and on my hip line. On my crotch line, I'm going to do the same thing, 11 inches. That 11 inches, I'm going to divide it by 4 by me folding my tape measure into 4 like this. Place it like so and mark it out. That will be my crotch extension. And I'll go ahead and connect all the points together like so, from my waistline to my crotch line straight. And as for my crotch curve, I'll just connect it like so with the curve line like this. So having done that, from my waistline, I'm going to measure out the full length of my trouser, placing that 1.5 inch that is for my waist elastic band. I'm going to place it like so and measure out the full length of my trouser, which is 40 inches plus 1.5 inch for hemming allowance. And this is 1.5 inch for my hemming allowance. And I'm going to mark it out. I'm going to reel it out straight like this. So what I have here all together on my crotch line, I'm going to measure it out and divide it by 2. Just for me to fish out the center of it. So now I'm going to measure what I have here, which is 6.75. 6.75. I'm going to measure it out here on my tie line and measure it out on the bottom of my pant as well. Now go ahead and connect from the crotch line till I reach the bottom of my pant. Just like this. Having done that, I'm going to divide my tie circumference into 2 and place it on my tie line. So my tie circumference is 24 inches. If I divide by 2, it will give me 12 inches. That 12 inches is what I'm placing from here to here. Just make sure the 6 inches, which is half of that 12 inches, is aligned with this center line till I reach the bottom of my pant. And after that, I'm going to connect it. So after connecting, I'll go ahead and cut it out. And after cutting, I'll go ahead and place another fabric on the table for the back part. Now, this is another fabric for the back part. Here's the right side and this is the wrong side. As you can see, it's folded into two. And to know the amount of fabric putting on fold for this back part, I will just use the 14 inches on the front part and add extra 5 inches to it. That is what I have here on the table, folded into two. So this is 19 inches altogether folded into two, as you can see. And I'm going to pin it down to avoid it from shaking. Now, from the edge here, I'm going to measure 2 inches downward and connect it straight, just because of the butt at the back. If your back side is not much, you can make use of 1.5. Now, this is my front part. I'm going to place it on the back like so. Just watch as I'm doing that. And make sure the seam allowance is aligned on this line, not the line downward. That half inch downward is not going to align on this line because of the seam allowance. Hope you understand. But if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. So after placing it, I'm going to add all the necessary allowances to it. On this crotch line, I'm going to add 3 inches to it and extend the line. Just watch as I'm doing that. 3 inches outward like this and extend it. On my hip line, I'm going to measure out 2.5 inches and extend it. And after extending it, I'm going to curve it out like this. So now this is my back crotch cuff. And I'm going to extend the cuff from the waist to meet here like so. After that, from here now I'm going to connect it slantly to meet the side. On my tie line here, I'm going to measure 2 inches outward like this. And I'm going to continue measuring it till I reach the bottom of my pant and connect it. Now on this side, from the waistline, I'm going to measure 1 inch till I reach the bottom of my pant and connect it like so. And after connecting, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Now I'm going to put the back aside and place the front for me to measure out the pocket, the side pocket for the front part. So this is my front now. On the waistline inward, I'm going to measure 3 inches. And downward from the waistline, I'm going to measure 7 inches, which is my pocket opening. I'm going to connect it like so. After connecting, I'm going to cut it out. So this is what I have for the pocket. I have 4 pieces here. I'm going to remove 2 pieces. Let the right side face each other like so and place it underneath. So what I have here is 7 inches by 9 inches. Place it underneath like so and cut the shape out. So I'm going to separate my front now. As for this one, this is the right side. So I'm going to take one of these 2 pieces. Let the right side face each other like so and stitch from here to here with ½ inch. I'm doing the same thing on the second part of the front. I'm done stitching, as you can see. Can you see that? So I'll just notch it from here to here. And after notching, I'm going to hold it like this and give it a good press, as you can see. Doing the same thing on the second part. After all that, it's going to be like this. And I'm going to take the second one, which is this one. Let the right side face it like this and make it align and stitch from here to here with half inch. At the end of the day, it's going to be like this. And I'm going to do the same thing on the second one. I'm just stitching my pocket. As you can see, it's very nice and beautiful. Look at it on the inside and on the outside of it. Here is the second one. As you can see, it's very nice and beautiful. So I'll go ahead and place it on each other like so. Let the right side face each other and stitch here from here with half inch. Here is my back part. Let the right side face each other like so and stitch the crotch cuff from the waist to this place with half inch. I'm done stitching. As you can see, this is my front part. I'm done stitching the crotch cuff. I'm going to notch it. This is my back part. I'm done stitching the crotch as well. I'll go ahead and notch it like I did on the front part. This is my front part. Going to open it up like this. Lay it very well on the table. Place my back on it. Let the right side of the back face the right side of the front. I'll go ahead and place the crotch on each other like this. Let it align very well and stitch both legs with 1 inch from the crotch cuff to the bottom part of the pant. After doing so, I'm going to stitch both sides too with 1 inch from this waistline till the bottom part. I'm stitching, as you can see, the inseam and the sides of the pant. So let me turn it to the right side for you guys to see the outside of it. There you see it. Very nice and beautiful. So I'll go ahead and double fold the bottom of my pant and hem it all round with that 1.5 inch that I added to it. So after doing that, I'm going to measure what I have on my waist all round from the back part, from the center back till I reach the center back. So what I have here all round is 43 inches. And this is my waistband. I've already cut it out and bumped the interface into it. So the length of my band is 4 inches by 43 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. I folded half inch on both sides for seam allowance. It remains 3 inches if I fold it into two. So I'll open it up like this, place it on each other on the right side and stitch half inch for that seam allowance. I'm done stitching, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and stitch it to my waist on one side. Going to open it up like this, place it on it like so and stitch it from here all around with half inch. I'm stitching one side of the band first. I'm done stitching, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is to just fold it like so, place that seam allowance on it on the right side and top stitch it all round. But before doing that, on my center front here, I'm going to measure half inch on both sides. Half inch on both sides and create buttonholes on those lines. That will be channel for my drawstring on the waist. Now I'm done creating my buttonholes, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is to cut it open by folding it like this and cut it open. So I'm doing the same thing on the second one. Just watch me as I'm doing it and make sure the holes you have there is wide enough to contain the ropes, as you can see. So after that, I'll just place it like this and stitch it all around. But I'm going to leave about 2 inches opening here for me to insert my elastic. Now I'm done with all that I explained. As you can see, I left 2 inches opening here for me to insert my elastic. Now, to know the amount of elastic to cut, I'm going to deduct 8 inches from my waistline. So my waistline is 32 inches. If I deduct 8 inches from it, it will give me 24 inches. And I'm going to add 1 inch to it for seam allowance. So I have here 25 inches in width. And the elastic I'm using is 1 inch in length. So I'll go ahead and insert my elastic band through the casing that I created for it. I'm done inserting my elastic, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and place it on each other and top stitch it. I'm done joining the 2 edges of the elastic together, and I'll drag it in like so for me to top stitch the opening, just like this. But make sure you do not top stitch on the elastic, please. So this is the fabric I have for my rope. You can add extra 10 inches to your waistline or 20 inches for the width of your rope, and the length is 2 inches wide. So I'll go ahead and double fold the 2 edges like this and fold it again and run a stitch all through. I'm done stitching my rope, as you can see, so I'll go ahead and use my safety pin to insert it. After which I will now give it a good press and show you the finishing look of it, guys. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Please show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Aniki Culture. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.